Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. Want more good stuff? Be more good stuff. No, stupid sounding, right? In its simplicity. But the fact is, it's very, very true, even in the simplistic level. Going to cover all that in this video. Also, just wanted to do a quick plug. I created a second channel. It's called On the Fringe, and it's stuff that's still in the spiritual genre. It definitely will occasionally touch upon law of attraction stuff, but it's really more outside of that whole genre of law of attraction and really gets into some of the other topics that I really, really enjoy doing. So I'm going to be doing a show this weekend on the law of attraction and the concept of service to self and service to others. I'm going to maybe do a little bit of a video on that to try to help describe really the two different paths that souls are coming here to fulfill, or our way to graduate. So it's On the Fringe. I will put a link below because there's not that many subscribers on the channel yet, so you may not find it searching for it just yet. But I will put a link below for those of you that really do enjoy my work and want to help support me. It would be a super helpful thing if you could go ahead and go on there and click subscribe, at least on my channel, and then hopefully the notifications, and when I put out new stuff, you guys will know about it. On top of that, we've got the two sides of how this whole what we send out stuff kind of helps. So we're going to get into the crux of the video here now. Sorry for the plug, but I had to. So two other sides of this. There's the concept of like the ripple effect, which I've done a video on as well. I'll link that below. But the concept of the ripple effect is what we do. So I'll take one step back. Law of attraction, the way it works, how we manifest. Simply, now granted, focus-based is all of that, and that kind of comes into play here, but truly, the ways that we do manifesting things is by what we think, what we say, and what we do. Now, as far as levels of power or strength in those abilities, right? Because there's three different ways that we actually create, that we physically, the sun energy aspect of doing actually creates manifestations in our life. So thinking is the weakest. What we think about is the weakest way that we can actually manifest things in our life. It's extremely powerful, and if you do it a lot, it certainly adds up, right? Has that effect. But it is the weakest, and a lot of the techniques that law of attraction do are really bound around thinking. And that's great. That's good. That's fantastic. But unfortunately, there are two other paths that are even stronger. So the next one in level of efficiency or efficacy, like ability to help you manifest, is speaking about things. Now, we've talked about be careful who you talk to. I've done videos on that below as well. Be careful who you talk to because, again, if it's someone that's a doubter, someone that's a naysayer, all they're going to do, and this is the only reason it's a pain, and again, I have a video where I really tried to break this down for you guys, and that'll be linked below as well. It really comes into the questions they ask you. They'll put doubts in your mind. Since they're doubters already, they're going to ask those kinds of questions. And really, when you're trying to manifest something and you really don't care what other people say. Example I had was when I was trying to get into radio, I had a couple people say, you have no business being in radio, please, right? Like, why are you even bothering to do this? And so instead of listening to them, I'm like, nah, it was just made me more determined. And I'm like, watch, I'll show you, I'll prove you wrong. So where it comes into play is when people, maybe with the best of intentions, don't necessarily agree with your choice. And because of that, they're going to ask a lot of questions. So talking is good, actually. When you speak about the things that you're planning on creating in your life, you're actually putting power towards it. You're talking about it as if it's real. That is the power of it. Not just saying, yeah, so me and Jenny are going to be together again, or me and Bobby, we're definitely going to be together again. I know it. Like, that's not necessarily the talking that we're talking about. But maybe, to use the Bobby as an example right now, sorry, Bobby, but maybe it's more the issue of, yeah, so no, Bobby and I are definitely going to go to this place. This is one of our favorite restaurants, or this is my favorite restaurant, and Bobby and I are definitely going to go here and have dinner. That's actually a very powerful statement in and of itself. Not that I want to be with Bobby, or Bobby and I think we're going to be together, and gee, wouldn't it be nice to be with Bobby? No. That's a lot of speculation, a lot of, it's side talk, if you will. It helps. It's not bad. I'm not saying it's negative. What I am saying is when there's a very direct, like, this is so, living in the end, basically, with your words is kind of the way to go. Now, the strongest way to manifest is doing. When you're doing things as if you already have it. That is where I call the ripple effect. So part one of this whole slew of stuff here, if we want to make stuff happen in our life, then we have to be the stuff we'd like to see. Want more love in our life? We need to be more loving. Want to have more people in our life? We need to be more people friendly. We need to be out in front of people more. We need to be around people more. We need to enjoy that concept more. What we send out comes back to us. They call it the ripple effect, and it's very similar to like dropping a rock in a pond, bloom, right? And you see the ripples come out from that center point. That's the ripple effect. Now, the us pushed out concept also comes into play here because everything we ripple out bounces off others and comes back. That's the us pushed out. So maybe we're being a jerkhole. Maybe we're being a bad person, being angry, being grumpy, and we're sending a lot of grumpy ripples out. And maybe we're coming across somebody that we like or is a friend of ours or whatever, and we go to have a conversation with them even though we're having a grumpy, ripply day. And your friend might actually not be in a good mood with you, or you might say something that's somewhat offensive to your friend and piss him off. And your friend goes away and you're like, what the heck? And then you text him later and I'm sorry, right? But the fact is what we're sending out is what's going to come back to us. The us pushed out. It's not that your friend is you. It's not that the friend is necessarily having your day. It's that you're pushing out this effect out to everyone around you, and anybody that comes in that can reflect your energy back to you is going to throughout the day. Might be the customer, might be the guy at the gas station, might be the person at the grocery store, might be some person at the traffic signal or crosswalk, or the person next to you in the car that's flipping you off for some reason, right? It could be any number of those things. The ripple effect is one of the easiest ways to enhance our experiences in life, to enhance not just what you're manifesting, but it does come into play, directly correlates in fact, but it just the overall experience that we have in life tends to be enhanced when what we're sending out to others is good stuff, positive stuff, helpful stuff, being kind to others, being loving to others, being helpful to others. These things will help bring that same energy back to you. And when you're doing these energies, when you're being this way, which is doing, right? When you're being like this and sending out more positive energy to those around you, rather than being a grumpy Gus all the time, what you find is what's reflected back is just a far more enjoyable experience. People will be nicer to you. You'll notice you'll find money. Opportunities will open up. Doors will just randomly open. You'll walk up to a door. Someone will open it for you, just happenstance. The universe seems to really roll out the red carpet when we have, in fact, rolled out the red carpet to those that we interact with. Again, what we put out directly comes back. And it's a hard correlation to make because maybe it's delayed by a day or two or three. But what you find is when you behave like this on a consistent basis, you begin to see that, wow, life just treats me well. Traffic signals tend to be green. People tend to treat me really well. Professionally right now in work, some of the things that are happening are just tripping me out. Like it's hard for me to see how things are going. But then when I get the comments from others, it's like, wow, I guess I'm doing really well. So it's one of those things where if your intentions are in the right heart space, then that is what you're going to receive back from universe. It's extremely powerful. It is really underplayed, and it is really the easiest way to make a major change in your life is to change yourself and what you're sending out to others. Now, the second component to this that I think is equally interesting and very worthy of paying attention to. I call it thought transmissions. There's a video I did, thought transmissions, send them your rainbow. It's a video I did, I don't know, a few months ago, a couple months ago, whatever. Video I love. I love thought transmissions just in general. It's probably one of my favorite topics. That and signs seem to be the other thing that's a big deal with me, and I like those too. But thought transmissions really are like, oh, it's awesome. It's the mojo that really makes this whole world fun and interesting and really kind of holds us accountable. So what we're being out to others is great. And that's what we're going to get back, is that sort of energy, that sort of level of love, that sort of reasoning behind it. But how the thought transmissions come into play is it's not just what I'm doing that matters now. It's not. what I'm doing is great. I can do my job, but be miserable at the same time, or I can do my job and be happy at the same time, or any myriad of shades in between those, right? How thought transmissions work is whenever I think of another, anyone, certainly your specific person is the person I usually refer to because it's, what a lot of us are after. We're trying to enhance our relationship with another individual. So one of the best ways that you can really directly impact that relationship with that individual. Now, again, broadly, as you're being good to others, you're rippling out good. That will benefit you and that specific person, but it also benefits everyone else around you. So it's a win-win-win. But if you want to directly affect the one that you're interested in, that you love, thought transmissions is how that's done. So it's not just what you're being, it's what you're feeling while you're being it. Oh man, now you had to go and throw a wrench in the works. I know. Sucks. But that's the fact of the matter. Thought transmissions, whenever you think of an individual, think of them. That's it. All you have to do is think of them. Instantly, you've created a thought bridge. Instantly. Instantly, a connection between you and them is done that quickly. Instantly. Instantly. The more sensitive of us will feel it. So when a lot of people have asked me, well, will they feel it if I do it? Well, I don't know them, and I don't know how sensitive they are. But yes, generally. Let me offer one other example, and I've said this a while back, and it's still a fun experiment that's fun to do. And if you guys really want to test the sensitivity of others, and you can do this with your specific person, maybe they walk into the break room and you happen to work with them, and maybe they were busy washing their cup or whatever at the sink. What's fun to do is you look at them and you imagine from their vantage point, from their perspective, right? So if they're washing the dishes, imagine them like rinsing like they're probably seeing in their own eyes, right? Imagine them washing the cup and rinsing it, and then imagine what it would look like to have them turn and pan and look to you. Imagine what they would see as they turned and looked to you. No matter how they're oriented, what would they see in their eyes? What would they see when they turn and look at you? And what you will find is the more sensitive people are, the quicker they will look right at you. Right at you. The less sensitive they are, or if they're busy like mashing away on their phone, well, they're just busy, so they're not paying attention to anything. Another reason why sometimes being so busy is bad, because we're missing these connections that exist in life. We're missing these little nuances that matter. But that being said, the more sensitive they are, the quicker they turn around. And it is fascinating. You can do it with strangers too. It's a lot of fun. I do it. I play with it all the time. And for me, it's just a way to gauge how sensitive people are. And sometimes you'll see some of the people that, like, I'll be like, there's no way they're that sensitive. And you'll look at them, they're like, instantly. And I'm like, wow, okay, well, you're very aware of that feeling. And it's, again, why I've talked to, why it feels so weird to be on stage. If any of you have ever performed, it's weird having that many people looking at you at once. That's what you're feeling. That's what that energy is. That's why you'll start sweating. Like a lot of that, that nervousness is just from that many people staring at you. So again, fun thing to look at, but back on track. Thought transmissions are the energy we send. So instantly we think of them, we create a bridge, we create a connection, and then however we are feeling at that moment is what they receive. They don't receive the words. They don't receive, like you could say, I love you. They don't hear the words. Now, if you're feeling I love you, like you're thinking of them and you're just like, oh man, I just love you. Like, and maybe you got the tears coming down your eyes because it's so powerful. They feel that for sure. You will pop into their head and they will feel like this sense of love. They will feel the sense of happiness about you. They will feel like, I miss her. Like they will feel you in some way that's positive. Because again, you create a bridge instantly. So that's where you're going to pop into their head one way or the other. But how you feel is what they pick up. That's the language of the soul. That's connecting to the higher self. The higher self and lower self communicate by feeling. Feeling is the soul, right? Doing, thinking, all that crap, that's more 3D world. That's more like, how do I park my car? How do I write a paper? When it comes to dealing with people, when it comes to feeling love, when it comes to aspects of the soul, that's all about feeling. It's all coming from that heart area. And the more we develop that, which is the fourth chakra, by the way. I've done chakra videos. You can go searching for those. I did them forever ago. When we're coming more from the loving place of the heart chakra instead of the third chakra, which is that gut feeling. I got a feeling about them in the stomach, like, it just doesn't feel right. That one versus, man, I can just, like, they're thinking of me right now, or we definitely want, this guy's very trustworthy, or this person's not. Well, that's more of a gut thing, but right, like you will attract more loving things coming from that heart energy. So when we think of another and we're sending that love, that's what we're thinking. That's what they're thinking. I mean, that's what they feel. And on the converse of that, if you're grumpy or frustrated and you connect with them, then that's what they feel. So if you're upset with them and you're having a thought transmission moment, and it doesn't matter if you don't want to, it doesn't matter if you don't want them to feel this, there's no way to block it. The only way to block it is to really not send that energy out. Our energy, what we're feeling, thinking, saying, doing, all that stuff is an outward, energetic projectile, or a vector. For those of you that took mathematics or heavy mathematics and physics and all that stuff, you're vectoring out that energy. You're sending it out, and it's going to bounce off or hit whatever's there around you. It's like a light in a room, right? And that light just sends that light everywhere. It's omnidirectional. How you're feeling is what is sent out. If you want to change what people receive from you, then you need to feel differently when you're thinking of them. If you're thinking of them in frustration and you're doing this often, then that is definitely hurting your chances. No one wants to be with someone that's pissed off at them. It's a horrible feeling. I don't know if you've ever gone to bed angry with someone and you turn your back to them, right, in bed, and you can just feel the anger. It's not comfortable. It's not cool. It's a bad feeling. Why would I get into a relationship with someone that feels like that? I won't. You wouldn't. And your specific person won't. You're pissed off at them. You need to get over that. You need to figure out a way to get over that. I've done astral letter videos. You can do a search for it in my channel because I'm running out of room to link all the different shows I'm talking about. But you want to work on that forgiveness. That will help take away that frustration. And then you can move forward with loving again. There's just really no way around it. And I think it's one of the things that a lot of us forget. We send out what we receive. You want to make that better, you need to send out better stuff. If you're wanting to try to improve a relationship with another individual, be very mindful of how you are feeling when you think of them. If it's in frustration and anger, why haven't they texted me? Why aren't you texting me? They're feeling that as a negative vibe. You're thinking of them and you're frustrated. Bad. Even if you're thinking of them and you're frustrated because you just get ripped off by somebody and maybe you want to talk to them about it, the fact is you're thinking of them and what you feel right now is frustration. They don't get the context of it. They don't understand, she's not frustrated at me. No, they just can get a connection with you and they feel how you feel. So if you're frustrated, regardless of why or who you're frustrated at, they're going to feel that frustration, again, depending on how sensitive they are. Want to make a difference? We need to send out better, higher quality vibes, higher fidelity, right? For an older radio type term. We need to give that energy out in a very positive way. We want to send it out in a way that we want it to come back. Hopefully this helps. It should. Appreciate everybody. If you guys haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. I always appreciate that. Also wanted to thank you all for continuing to support this channel. You guys have been wonderful. There's some people out there that have been with me for over a couple of years now, and I just love you guys dearly. All of you anyways, certainly the newer parts of my family, but all of you are welcome. Appreciate the comments, and we'll do more great videos. Please, in the comments, if you guys have topics that you'd like me to talk about, something you're interested in, just want to hear my take on it, go ahead, drop that in the comments, and I will happily do shows on your guys' requests. I appreciate that very much. It's Dan RadioStyle.